Today's guest is Jason Wright, founder and CEO of Intentionally Inspirational, which scales your business with intelligent lead solutions. He's passionate about taking the confusion out of marketing, automating the grind, and building straightforward AI-driven sales funnels that actually work. Beyond that, he's the author of the book, The Backwards Route to Forward Progress, a title I kind of love, and y'all know I like a good, unique title. In addition to writing, Jason, you also speak, invest, hunt, fish, bit of a cigar and bourbon connoisseur, a man of many talents and pursuits. Jason Wright, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so first I want to start with this idea of demystifying marketing and building simple systems that actually work. You are speaking my language. I love making messy things plain and simple. Talk to us a little bit about what sets your soul on fire about removing the confusion and just making things that work.
Yeah, it's a good question. I had this breakthrough, I don't know, about a year ago. And it was more for a way to talk to this about my clients than for myself. But all marketing is building and maintaining relationships. That's it. It's never going to change. So the tools may change, but the principles don't change. So when you can speak in language like that to people, they understand it pretty easily because they get so overwhelmed with what should I be doing and this and that. And it's really at the end of the day, if you put a decent offer in front of the right group of people, you're gonna have something to talk about, maybe something to sell. So it's not magic. You got to really be careful with all the influencers out there and their new secret strategies. I don't think there's really any secrets anymore, but just keeping it really simple and keeping it conversational, just like you would in real life, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, I feel like you can say that about all of business. It's just about relationships. And at the heart of it, everything comes down to that. So that's why I like podcasting. You get to meet people and get to know somebody and what they're all about. And it's a great format to just build relationships.
Absolutely.
So in your business or in your field, if you could let everybody know one thing about the space that, man, if everybody knew this, it would make life so much easier. What is that one thing?
Yeah, I think you have to take action. I'm to the point where I'll give you a great example. So we just implemented a new AI agent into one of our support inboxes for email. I spent about 10 minutes prompting it and setting it up and turned it loose. And somebody on my team messaged me today freaking out. It's sending people the wrong information. It's lying to them. And I was like, what are you talking about? So I looked and I was like, oh, this thing's crazy. So we made some adjustments, but the good thing is it is out there. It is working for us. It has done some things well, but get it out there or start doing it and improve it on the way. And it's really important because if I talk to you about an idea, I'm already taking action, or I'm taking action today. Like, I'm not waiting. What am I waiting for? So these people that will talk about, I've been working on this website for a year. What do you think the website's going to do for you? Put the thing out there, stick it out there today and improve it later. So that's one of the best pieces of advice I can give people. If you want to get strong and you talk about going to the gym and you don't actually go, you're not going to get strong. You have to start doing the thing and you'll get better on the way.
Do the thing, get better on the way. That's a good,
good enough to get out there is our motto. And it's a really good one because, consistent action is the secret to success.
I've always liked that phraseology of don't let perfect be the enemy of good. It's the same sentiment of let's just take action and move forward. I think my former team used to always get sick of me saying action trumps everything because it really does. It really does.
Yep.
So you've mentioned AI. You're in a business space where everybody's focusing on AI right now, but you're in a space where you feel like you really need to be embracing it.
Yeah.
I like this idea of how having a right culture for your company and for your business, it helps build a breeding ground for innovation. It makes it easier to innovate.
Yeah.
How do you ensure that your company, that you can be innovative? How do you build that into your culture and into your everyday mojo?
Yeah, so there's 6 of us right now. And for me, the thing I like about being the owner is if I have a new idea, we can just run with it. I don't have to run it by anybody. And I have a lot of ideas. So the creative freedom is, I never knew this, but before I got into business, but creative freedom is the most important thing to me. You take that away from me, I'm just a shell of a person. So I do the same thing with my team. It's, hey, here's what we're trying to get to. Figure out the best way to do it or however you want to do it, and let's roll. You've got to allow things to pivot really quickly. You got to leave creativity because to think you have the best ideas for everything's crazy. Let people figure out better ways to do it or their own way to do it. So that's a core to it. Even with clients, sometimes clients have great ideas for stuff that we can turn into a solution for them and other people. So just having an open mind and knowing that you
Mhm.
don't have all the answers and always being willing and able to accept new ideas, I think is key.
Ooh, we're gonna be friends. This whole knowing that you don't, admitting that you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
I've spoken and written about that so much. I feel like we would set ourselves up of once you become an expert at something, once you're good in a space, you're like, oh, I can't admit that I don't know everything here. And that's the biggest way to kill innovation and new ideas right there.
Absolutely.
I want to ask a little bit about your entrepreneurial journey
Sure.
and going through that process. It's you learn as you go. I'm sure you've gotten some really great advice along the way, and you've probably gotten some really terrible advice along the way. Does
Yeah.
anything stick out as either end of that spectrum?
Yeah. Advice that I'll give to everybody based on my experience is don't take advice from people who haven't done what you're trying to do.
Yes.
If you haven't run a lemonade stand, don't talk to me about making more sales. You know what I mean? And it's always the welder, and there's nothing against welders. My son's in a trade, but who's never had his own business and wants to give me advice about making an offer. And I'm like, what are we talking about here? I'll ask you about, it makes no sense. So be careful of that. Don't let people put their negativity on you, which is really a reflection of them justifying they never tried something. So you be very careful who you share your dreams with. The other thing is patience. Patience isn't something that comes naturally to me, but in business, you don't have a choice because it's not up to us when the timeline is, right? Things could happen very quickly or they could happen very slowly. And it seems to usually be more of the latter, but you have to be along for the ride. And those who survive in business are the ones that keep going. If you give up, you can't succeed because your journey's over. So sometimes you have to go through some really long and nasty storms, but if you can just make it another day, at some point the sun might come back out.
I always think of that as more persistence than patience. And the fact that you lump that as the patience, because I don't think of myself as a patient person,
Yeah.
but I am a persistent person. So I'm like, I might just take your definition there. I'm patient. I can
The
be
conversation
patient.
I had to have with myself was I can't control the timeline. Doesn't matter what I do. I
Right.
can't control it. I don't have an off switch anyway. So the persistence is hardwired in me, but the patience is, like you said, lumped together because it's a passenger in that journey, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of a devil's advocate here and push on one of the things you said about I totally get your point of people can't lead where they've never been.
Yeah.
But the other side of that equation or other side of the argument is I like to get input from people that know nothing about the space that I'm in
Yeah.
because it specifically can help make things simple. It helps me like refine. If this doesn't make sense to this person because
Yeah.
they're in a totally different space, how do you balance those two of you want to get input from a wide array, but you have to filter that too, to your point, and you want to make sure I'm only taking advice. How do you do that for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good point. Getting basically market feedback on something and seeing what people struggle with or understand is great. What's nice about today is you can use AI to help speed that process up for you, which is really cool. So I think that's important, but like you wouldn't get tax planning advice from your painter, probably not, right? It's just not really the greatest fit, but that painter
Mhm.
may have great life lessons for you about encouragement or something else. I'm just saying with certain parts of business, be careful who you ask because their advice may just have no relevance or anything to what you're seeking.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I take a little segue here? I want to ask you
Sure.
about the book. I like
Okay.
the title. I think that's pretty
Thanks.
cool. And then having written a book myself, I know that's not an easy feat to go through. What inspired you to write the book? And then can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I haven't cracked it open in a long time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I wrote it early in this journey. So I've been doing this business 10 years. So it's probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago at this point. But I just wanted to document where I was at in the process at that time. And when you're starting a business and you're going through this, I've quit corporate twice and I keep failing. And I had to go back and all that. It's all mindset, right? And you get all these people like, you're an idiot, you shouldn't do it. So I was in a chapter of things where a new mindset would be the thing either make or break me and get me to that place where I might actually be able to make some money. And what's funny about the book, as I was writing that book, and it's all about kind of motivation and mindset, real world digestible type of tips based on my life experience. While I was writing the book, I think it was 6 months into it, we had a lightning storm. We were in central Indiana at the time. Lightning hit the house, fried the computer. I lost the whole book.
Mm.
And so I had to
Oh,
start
man.
over. I didn't have
Oh,
anything,
man.
no outline, no notes. So I had to start over, and it took me another year to get it done. So it took me 18 months to get it done. But even in the writing of the book, I had to like take the advice in the book to get the book done. But yeah, it's something I gave my kids, and I haven't cracked it open in a long time. I should, just to see where I'm at. But I know a lot of the things are pretty evergreen truths about how I think. So good motivational read for anybody, not even necessarily entrepreneurs.
It does always seem to be the message that you're saying. It's like it'll come back around. I know when I was first launching my business, talking to my coach and saying, "Oh, this one area I'm really struggling with." You realize that's what you talk about the most. I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta take my own advice here."
Yeah.
So, question about where you want to go next. What's top of mind for you for your business and what you want to be doing down the road?
Yeah, the last year in business has been pretty tough, and we're really coming out of it now. And it was something we talked about earlier. It was 2023 was the best year I've ever had. Things were on autopilot. You couldn't tell me anything. I don't need to hear what you have to say. We're good.
Right.
Markets shift and things change, and sometimes you need to be brought to your knees to become a good student again. So here we are, Jason, the good student. So I want to get back to a place where things are a lot more comfortable and my impact is a lot wider. So building this business, embracing AI, because AI is really a thing right now for business. It's moving very quick. And I had this thought the other day that if I don't get on the train, I'm going to get left at the station. And I don't want my competitors to get that advantage because it'll put a hurt on things. So just expanding the team, expanding the reach with clients, making an impact where I can. And I just enjoy what I do. I enjoy teaching people and saying things in a language they like. So more of that stuff.
Yeah. As we get older, we hopefully get wiser. How has your definition of success changed for going forward versus maybe when you first started the company?
So it's changed a lot. I don't care about stuff anymore. I care about comfort. I don't want to worry about paying bills or being able to buy groceries or gas or stuff like that. But you're not going to see a Ferrari in my driveway. You're going to see flip-flops and a tan every day based on where we live, and maybe a little more cigar smoke sometimes than others. But I just don't want to worry. If I want to do some things, I want to be able to do it. I don't want a bunch of debt. I really don't want any debt. So it's more of a comfort thing that comes from having nothing and having a lot, and going back to not having as much just changes your perspective.
Yeah.
The me from 2 years ago, that guy's not here anymore. He's gone. It's definitely don't have financial goals like I used to. There's a level that once I reach and cross it again, not if, but once, I'm good. I'm good. So anything beyond that's just allows me to bless other people more.
So keeping that in mind, if you were to give your younger self some advice or to give somebody else who might be earlier on in their entrepreneurial journey, what's a couple good pieces of advice you would give them?
Yes. Be patient. Don't be so married to your ideas that you ignore the market. Sell the market what they want, not what you think they need. The end.
That kind of sums it up right there.
It does.
It really does. I think sometimes too, people like to get really flowery and descriptive of all these things and specific, but it comes down to the basics, comes back to simple. I think that's what I like about your business overall is like you're trying to make it simple, scalable, demystify, and that's perfect.
Yeah, one other thing I would add is to take a little time every day to do something you enjoy. So we live in coastal Georgia, half a mile from Florida on the Atlantic side. And we have a beautiful pool, banana trees, palm trees out back. And every morning I start the day out there by the pool, coffee, hang out with the dogs before I do anything. Right. And it's key that you do something that lets you unplug, even if it's 10 or 15 minutes a day, just to stay sane, just because tomorrow's not promised, just because we have to be thankful for whatever we have, even if it's not a lot. So that piece is important. Don't get so focused on down the road that you miss what's around you right now.
Yeah. And not just the pause, just the physically going outside. I think that is such a big thing too. It reminds us that the whole big world out here. It's
I'm
not inside my
all
office.
day long. Yeah. I'm in the office a little bit. Like after this podcast, I'll be out there walking around and doing stuff. I just always am in and out.
Yeah. Any other habits that you find, daily habits, monthly habits, quarterly habits that really helped you be successful?
Yeah, man, I like working out. It's so hard to do consistently anymore. I used to do it when I was younger, like 5 or 6 days a week, play basketball all the time. Man, if I can get 2 or 3 days a weekend, that's great. So I do like to work out a little bit. I do like to have a cigar, and not a lot, maybe like one a month or a few more if there's people over, but just enjoy that stuff, because a cigar especially, or the pool, just causes you to just put down the phone and just hang out, take an hour to let the nicotine does what it do and open up your mind a little bit. So it's not a bad thing.
Being intentional with your time too. Yeah.
Oh,
All right. One last question, and I'll let you give a plug to where people can find you. But
sure.
any recommendations on top books you've read, podcasts you listen to? Where do you go for inspiration?
It's an interesting question. I'm a very intrinsically motivated guy. So I just have a voice in my head of me yelling at myself to do stuff. So that's what pushes me. The book that really made me believe it was possible, though, it's nothing you haven't heard of, but Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. That's the one that when I quit corporate the first time and I was trying to figure things out, that kind of let me know that mindset. And I started going down a different route with How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, and some of those type of older books that are timeless. That's the stuff I like. I don't consume a ton of content, though. I don't consume a lot because I'm either working with the clients in the business or I'm doing something else, and you just split it up. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm in a season where I'm consuming very little content these days.
Gotcha. That ties into the whole take action, and you have to have time to do the work. So
Absolutely.
Awesome. Jason Wright, where can people find you, learn more about you, your business, what you stand for?
Yeah, intentionallyinspirational.com. You check out that website, you smoke at the top right away. It's cigar smoke. I've had some weird questions about what's with the smoke. Cigar smoke, I promise.
The business is not on fire. Awesome. All right. Jason Wright of Intentionally Inspirational. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.